Sam in the studio. Wanted to do a little talking today about lead guitar playing. So haven't done a tutorial or any kind of YouTube video like this. So I got two cameras up and wanted to just share a little bit about one way that one might just become better at doing lead guitar parts. I'll say that there's many different ways that guys have learned to play lead guitar, and you could learn theory. A lot of it might be just like modes and practicing scales and stuff like that. And I'm not going to go too deep into anything other than just to talk about a way that I personally kind of grew as a guitar player. And I didn't even realize I was doing it at first. And then once I kind of recognized that there's a certain way to that I was like looking at the neck, and I don't want to call it cheating, but a way that I was playing along with other guitar players or in a band and that type of setting, the way that I was looking at the neck that helped me be better doing leads. I will say right off the bat, I am not a fast guitar player. I'm by far not a shredder or even close in that category. I feel like my fingers are slow. I've just always felt that way. I've tried doing scales and stuff like that, but so I definitely don't see myself as a fast picker or a shredder or a fast guitar player. So this is, again, if you're you know how to play the guitar and you've learned chords and you've been playing songs and you want to learn a little bit, maybe a simple way to look at it to get better at playing up the neck, higher on the neck. This is just one way, not the end-all way, but just the way that I kind of came about it. So I'm just going to simply explain it as this. It's learning chord formations as they go up the neck. So I'll even just start with something simple as just a Cowboy Chord G. So you might be playing a song that goes G, C, D, G. Really simple song. The song would be in the key of G. And so someone's playing a song G, C, and D, and they're playing that through, and you look at the neck and you're like, oh man, I have no idea like how I would play something higher to that. So this is kind of the way that I found that I learned to be able to work my way up and down the neck, was looking at chord formations and how they stack on top of each other. So if this is your Cowboy Chord G right here, a lot of you might know bar chords. So if you look at a G like this, the next step up is going to be a bar chord, and these three fingers right here are essentially in an E formation. So if you looked at like a way you play a regular E down here, and you move that up a couple frets, but you're going to need your first finger to bar that, as in bar chord. You look at this, and if you are on the 3rd fret, you are playing a G also as well. So you have this Cowboy Chord version of a G, and then you also have the next one up, which is a bar chord version. From there, I figured out that a simple one was what I consider a D chord, your typical Cowboy D chord, and I'm going to just show you that 2 frets up and over is the D up here. So almost if you could bar this, or you had a capo on and you have a D up here. So I have a G here, and then next is a G, and then also way up here is, sorry, it would be 3. Whoa. All right, so yeah, so I'm still learning, I guess. So 3 steps up from there, but it would be, here would be where the capo would be, and you would be playing a D shape, but it would be up from this bar chord G. So you have a shape up here. Now once I see that, it also makes me think of the kind of C chord shape. So if I just look at these 3 notes right here and I turn this into a C, almost like a bar chord C. What am I missing? Oh, sorry, 1 finger off. And then finally where my pinky is right here, I've come to learn that is your kind of A chord look. And if you played a bar chord that's kind of a version of what's an A down here. So there you have, again, a G. So what I started to do over time was to figure out that I could play up the neck all those chords, and it started to help me realize that if you're playing in a certain key, kind of where your spots are, then you can lead off of. So for, again, if I have a G here, then I also have a G here, I have a G here, I have a G here, and a G here, and all the way up to a G here. So that is just moving up the neck, knowing where, what the shapes kind of follow each other up the neck. I'm trying to do this in least amount of technical terms or technical way of looking at it. So how does that translate into leads? So as you start to understand, like down here, you have a song again that's in G, C, D, and back to G. So if I start to take and look at where those things are up the neck, then I can start to say, okay, if here's a G, it's just like basic a D up higher. There's, on the 3 high strings, basically playing what a G plays. So if someone's playing in G, I might move to this spot right here. I like to play it with 1 finger here and 1 finger here, and that leaves my pinky and other fingers open to do some lead stuff. So if you've learned cowboy chords and you've ever played a D right here, you might have played something like a D sus on and off, like a, or you might do something like, great, just ran out of space on my iPhone. Okay, so epic fail on my YouTube video here. Well, hopefully you can see from this camera angle. Let me try this again. Nope, not working. So hopefully you can see from this camera angle. Maybe I can zoom it in Final Cut here, but you might know some tricks, let's say down here on a D. So those are little things that I learned over time that you can play around to get some different notes on a D. Now you just take those and move them up to what would be a G. There you can just take what you know in your cowboy chords and the simple chords that you learn and just move them up to different spots higher on the neck. So that's really a trick that I learned to play, and once you know how those chords stack, another great thing is if it changes keys, then you just know and you can feel like how the chords stack. So if we're doing something A, and I know A is like this, there's my A. Here's what it would be if I kind of like capoed it and was playing the G formation. Then I also know as a bar chord, this would be right here. And then I also know after that bar chord comes that D looking formation right here. So if someone's playing in A, I'm back to my little tricks that I know up here that's kind of around the kind of little triangle looking thing that makes up a cowboy D chord. So that's just one way that I've learned kind of up and down the neck. I like to just say it's like how chords stack as they're going up. So it's something that's easy to practice and watch, and eventually you'll get to the point where you know it so well that as you're playing through chords or someone's playing a chord, you can look over at, let's say, the acoustic guitar player's hands and see, okay, he's playing E right now, so I know that D formation is right here, and that equals a C, and here's something that's like a A bar chord, and then after the A bar chord is something like a G way up here. You can kind of follow it all the way up the neck, even to get up to the higher spots, because it's all just stacking those different chord formations as they go up the neck. So hope this helped a little bit. This is just personally a way that I kind of learned to do more lead guitar stuff, and it's jamming along with stuff and practicing, and hope this helped a little bit.